Welcome to Planet Marzipan Podcast,
your fish and marillion podcast,
where we talk about all things in the planet of marillion and fish. I'm Meza, and here's my mate,
Craig Houston.
Hello, welcome to Planet Marzipan. I'm Meza. I'm here with my good friend,
Craig.
We are here with another mini pod, charting the single. We're here to discuss Fish's second solo single, Big Wedge. And we welcome back Stephen Wicks.
Hello.
Hi, Stephen. Mikie Kay.
Hi again, guys.
Hi, Mikey. Mark McCormac.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, Mark. Stuart Clyde.
Hi, gents.
Hi, Stuart. And
Hi,
Kieron Buxton.
Evening.
Hello. Welcome back, chaps. We are here to discuss the second Fish solo single, Big Wedge. There isn't a Wikipedia entry for Big Wedge, Craig, so...
Come and make it up.
Yeah, do an AI one if you want.
This was a multi-million selling in the US single. That was it was the first ever DVD release 5 years or so before the format was introduced. And all that general shit.
What date did it come out?
The 27th of December, 1989.
Did it? I never realised it came out at the end of the year.
Yeah, no, it followed the Fishes follows something quite similar happens here because when State of Mind came out, that came out in the October, and Big Wedge came out in the December, which mirrors exactly pretty much what happened with Internal Exile and Cradle. On the Internal Exile album, those singles came out about the same time, came out in the October, and again the week after Christmas.
I suppose they're thinking it's a soft chart, aren't they, after Christmas?
Yeah, everybody's just a wee bit. And to be fair, it is a fairly soft chart, not to dive too far ahead, but it is the third highest new entry, and there's only, let's say, they're not that. There's only one single gets into the top 10 and another one gets into the top 30 above it. So,
okay,
but that's for Mikey later on.
Yes, you're getting the format now, aren't you?
That's why I've said.
Okay. Let's just go straight into the tracks. I think Big Wedge, the track itself. Stephen, what do you make of Big Wedge?
I like it. The first thing I thought when I heard it was Phil Collins, the brass, and he's gone for it doesn't sound like a Phil Collins song, but that's a new point of reference, really. To me, it was more of a different statement than the first single, and probably more of a commercial song. It also went with the whole image where he wore the big, Uncle Sam outfit. I think he wore it on top of the Pops as well, and it was kind of hiding with the cover, and it felt like a whole package in itself. And it was a good song. Again, political, again, could have been written last week as opposed to in the 80s, but a great single and a really good choice for a lead single just before the album came out. Is that right? It came out just before the album?
It did, yeah, about a month before, yeah.
So yeah, another great release, and kept us, those that were following him after he'd left the band, kept us thinking, yeah, there's more good stuff to come.
Yeah. Stuart, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I really loved the single when it came out. It was one I really noticed of Fish's first few singles. That obvious energy, like Stephen said, when the brass came in. Again, something very different from Marillion. I don't think they ever used real brass sounds, and that was the first thing that you hear just absolutely blasting out there. And it was just instant fist in the air stuff. It's an absolute joy to play, and just loved it. Really good attention grabber.
Yeah, brilliant. Mark?
Absolutely loved it. Again, upbeat, brilliant lyrics. I was delighted when I heard it. And again, as we said, politically charged. Loved the brass, which was very unusual. And I was kind of concerned at the time, would that affect sales or whatever? But
What, you think it would alienate some of...
I thought it might alienate some of the other fans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because Marillion used saxophone on Berlin, and then they both used it straight after the split. It's weird, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, yeah. You would never have had anything like that beforehand, would you?
No, no.
I keep thinking that they were probably looking for things to set themselves apart from each other, perhaps. You know, let's do something different from what we've done before. But ironically, they both ended up doing similar things. Let's try something strange with the orchestration. Let's bring in new instruments, but then the other camp did the same thing as well.
Yeah, it's funny to mention brass though. The first time looking at brass used in something like Fishy and Marillion wise was at the Nelson Mandela concert, because when Fish was on with the supergroup, which included, you know, Phil Collins and Midge and lots of other things. Yeah, but they actually had a brass section on it when they were playing Kaylee. So if you look at that on YouTube, it's on there. You actually hear Kaylee with a big band. You know, you got like 2 drummers, 2 keyboard players, and all the kid, and there's a brass section as well. So yeah, that's a bit different.
Yep.
Kieron, what do you make of it?
I love it. I always have. It's got that big sound to it. It's bouncy. It's probably the one off the album that makes me bounce around the most whenever it comes on. I love singing it when I'm walking along in my headphones and things as well, still out loud now. So, because I can't hear myself singing when he's doing it, which is always an advantage. But no, it just moves along at a really nice kind of pace.
Talking about the singing, actually, as I said, the first thing that hits you is that huge big brass riff, and everything's really up there and really out front. And then when the vocal comes in, and for the verse, the vocal is in complete charge, and all the other instruments dial right down, and they're just padding in the background, letting Fish carry the whole thing all the way through. It's just a really, really interesting dynamic change from being, you know, full on at the very beginning, and then everything almost collapses right down because the vocal is in absolute charge, carrying the whole thing, and all the instruments create the space for that. And then, of course, when the chorus comes back in, boof, we're way up to 11 again.
Yeah, brilliant.
And you not think the choruses lift as well, so they build to the last chorus where he stops singing specifically about America. That's the peak of the song from an energy point of view. While there are ups and downs during the song, it builds up to that final crescendo at the end where he's actually, you know, naming checking America, which comes
absolutely
right at the end of the song, and it's just a brilliant way to lift a high energy song and get it further by driving through the lyrics and the way he delivers it at the end. It's just superb.
Yeah. Mikey, what do you think of it?
I think this is just super duper Fish being Fish. I mean, it's the dog's bollocks, really. You kind of fault it. This, I think this is what we said earlier, John, which was like, this is what I expected from a Fish solo point of view. And as others have mentioned, I think this could have been released last week. With everything that's going on in the world today, he was very ahead of his time, or very insightful of what was going on in the world around him. The whole thing, it was the first solo single of his I bought, and it was the entire package: the video, how he looked, the sleeves, the extended version. It was just everything was just, you know, the nail had been hit on the head. You know, it was absolutely perfect. Yeah, can't fault it, and I wish it had been the first single for reasons that we've already discussed. But yeah, I think it's absolutely amazing.
I think it was everything that people expected from Fish to be. It was what everybody that was waiting on what he was really going to do when he left Marillion. You know, that was what we wanted to see. We wanted to see the big man front and center, full of charisma, and delivering it in the way that only he did.
Yeah. Craig?
It's a banger. But isn't this one of the songs that was offered, the lyrics offered to Marillion, and Fish said that they didn't want it because they were too frightened of it alienating the American fan base?
Yeah, it seems to ring a bell, that. Yeah.
But it's, like everybody said, it's absolute corker. The lyrics and everything fit today even better than they did back then.
Yeah.
And it's always been a favorite of mine live, and you know, it's a song that he's kept in most of his set lists all the way through his career as an absolute crowd pleaser. But and the funny thing is if I remember right, you know, the whole anti-American thing, wasn't Vigil actually not released in America by Capitol? I don't think it was. I think Vigil didn't actually come out in the States until a reissue a long time later.
I'm sure we'll cover that when we do Vigil.
Yes.
I'll either correct you or tell you you're right. I'm not sure.
Absolute banger.
Yeah,
One of the things I was... Sorry, John, go on.
I was just going to say, I can't really add anything to what you said. It's a brilliant track. As Stuart said, it's what we were waiting for. Great imagery, colour, video, fantastic sounding track. You know, he was back, wasn't he? He was back. That was the important thing. Sorry, Mikey, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say the thing about the brass, because I think there was a lot of acts kind of like around about 88 through to about 91 that were using quite a lot of brass in the works at the time. Certainly if you look towards Phil Collins and the likes.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that I liked about it, and it was the thing that Stuart picked up on, was the fact that the brass didn't get in the way of anything. If you listen to the chorus when he goes, and we all bow down, then the brass comes in and goes, do 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 do, and then it's like a play off, they're playing off each other, and it just gives the track such a giant dynamic feel. It's not like the brass are just there because they're there. It's used to its full effect.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's many artists could pull off the vocal delivery that Fish gave on that song.
Yeah.
And stand up to the brass that was actually performing at its fullest on that song as well. It's just top-notch stuff. It really
I think Mark Brzezicki and John Giblin drive the song along, though. You know, I mean, Mark's got a fair, you know, quite a percussive style. You know, lots going on, and that kind of drives the pace as well. But brilliant. I mean, the good thing about this release is we had another new track on the B-side and a live track from the first tour as well. So the second track on the 12-inch and the CD. Well, in fact, Craig, do you want to talk about
I'll go through the format.
Extended mix?
Well, I'll tell you the formats and see what...
Well, no, we haven't talked about the extended mix of Big Wedge.
I know, but I'll bitch about that in a minute.
All right.
So we got in the formats a cassette single again, a 7-inch, and a 7-inch wallet pack, which is limited edition, which is a fold-out wallet with the fake American Express and bank notes,
driving license,
and everything in there.
Yeah.
So my number is 9,185. Mikey, what's yours?
Oh, I'm lower. 5834.
Kieron, have you got one?
No.
4980. Come on.
I'm higher.
Come on.
So yeah. So we have, like I say, the 7-inch wallet pack. There's a 12-inch, a 12-inch picture disc, and a 5-inch CD single. With them, we've got a 7-inch version of Big Wedge on the 7-inch single and the cassette single, and you've got Jack and Jill single version B-side. On the 12-inch, you've got the 12-inch version of Big Wedge, and you've got Jack and Jill single version again, and you've got Faith Healer live at the Town and Country Club in London. And
that was my introduction to Alex Harvey.
Was it?
Yeah.
There you go. And on the CD single, you've got the album version of Big Wedge.
Yeah.
Boo! Anyway, yes, I'm not. This is a sticking point. Jack and Jill single version of Faith Healer live. So yes, the 12-inch version of Big Wedge is only available on the 12-inch single and the 12-inch picture disc. The CD single has got the album version. Sons of bitches. I mean, I've got it. It's nice, but can I just have a bitch now? Because the presidential mix of State of Mind and the 12-inch version of Big Wedge, Fish did not bother his arse to put them on the remasters at all.
The presidential mix was on a reissue of
Roadrunner
Vigil, yes, and what do you call it?
Whiplash was on
as well. Dick
Yeah.
Brothers.
But the 12-inch version of Big Wedge has never been on a CD single or on a CD at all.
Somebody should put it on YouTube though from a vinyl rip. If you rip
They
one,
have. There are a few versions of the vinyl rip on there. So
yes, yeah.
There is
Link
another
in the
gripe
comments.
though, Craig.
Oh.
Come on then. What was my other bitch?
The other gripe is that the single edit hasn't been on any CD at all.
No. But
Just turn it off sooner.
yeah, you don't want this. You don't want the single edit.
It's obviously it's the lyrical line about Stadium Blocked by Satan that was completely removed from the video, and that was what was used for the single edit. But yes, that's never been released commercially on a CD or available on streaming at all, which is strange because the 7-inch versions of the Internal Exile singles have been released and are available, but the 7-inch edits, other than for State of Mind, don't exist. It's weird that Big Wedge has had 2 tracks made unavailable. It just doesn't quite make sense.
The single edits should be available, or the video edits should be available on fishmusic.scot. As a download, as a.
So you've moaned about it not being available on CD, but what do you think of the extended mix?
The extended mix. I love the presidential mix. I love the James Bondness of the extended
with
mix,
helicopters,
and
doesn't it?
stuff like that. Yeah. No, it's driving, and it's 8 minutes, and it's 8 minutes well spent. Thank you very much.
Okay. Positive eventually.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about Jack and Jill. Stephen.
I like it. I think it's a lovely song. It's the first song. I think it's definitely a B-side. I don't know, but maybe it could have developed a bit more for an album track if they wanted to, but a very strong one. And as we've said before about Marillion and Fish, certainly the early singles, the B-sides were as strong as album tracks largely anyway. I really like the lyric. I like the idea of a principal couple that's still sticking together and by standing by the principles, even if the world fell apart, they'd have each other and the principles. It's again a timeless kind of lyric, and I think it's got quite a good keyboard solo in it, Stuart. I don't know if you've ever tried playing it, but it's a keyboard-led song that just a nice self-contained, I guess 4-minute piece of music.
Yeah, I think that's something actually that's overlooked when you look at the Fishback catalogue. Certainly, with when we've been looking at material to play with Still Marillion, Jack and Jill's probably not one of the ones that has come most to mind. So I think you just inspired me there, Stephen. Might have a go back and have another re-listen to it and see if we can talk the rest of the guys into getting an airing of it sometime soon.
It's an unusually positive Fish lyric, isn't it, Jack and Jill?
Yeah.
Yeah, about principles, I guess if you think about the politics of the time, 89, Thatcher was the Prime Minister, George Bush Sr. was the President of America, so quite different times in that respect. So you can, and if he's coming out of a band that didn't want anything political going on the records, you can perhaps understand why his first 2 main songs were quite political, but then it shows you the side of him that the flip side of the anti-establishment, you've got principle. When things do fall apart, you've got each other. And I think that's, I agree, a very strong, positive message about things.
Mark, what do you think of it?
Hate it.
Good lad.
No, the song is just the melody's okay, the lyrics are okay, but the keyboards just drive me mad. It's so cliched and dated. It's 80s neo-prog, absolutely horrible keyboard sound. It's like it's an outtake from a Tony Banks solo album or something.
Do you think it's needing a rework, Mark?
No.
I was going to take that as an action from today's meeting.
Kieron, what do you think?
Me of Genesis song Inside and Out, where the song is at the first half and the second half is just this crazy keyboard solo.
Steady now, don't you diss Inside and Out.
No, I love Inside and Out.
Oh, that's all right then.
That's a brilliant song. But then
then
the Tony Banks kind of sound got very dated in the 80s, I thought, anyway.
Yeah.
So I didn't like the keyboard sound.
Okay.
Now it's played really well. Mickey's brilliant, but horrible dated sound.
I think if it was made any time afterwards, like 10, 20, even 30 years down the line, it would have sounded an awful lot different with different production.
Yeah.
Can I just say I want to see Stuart play it on a keytar? That's all. That's what it would fit a keytar solo right at the front.
Okay,
just for shits and giggles and a laugh.
Well, take that as an action from today's meeting.
If he does, Mark will be in the bar.
You have to dedicate it to me. Yeah.
Mark will be at the bar filming it and streaming it live on Facebook again.
Kieron, what do you think of it?
I like Jack and Jill, and I think I like it because I had the 12-inch before the album came out. I played it a lot.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed listening to it, and you had to listen to that to get Faith Healer as well. Sorry, one of my dogs is attacking the other dog.
Oh, okay. If you need to step out, you're all right.
Yeah.
I thought they were passing judgment on Jack and Jill there.
Don't like Jack and Jill either.
Mikey, what do you think of Jack and Jill?
I think it's just a little bit dull, to be completely honest with you. But I think my problem was when I bought Big Wedge, and I only had the 12-inch single of it. I never flipped the disc over. I just played that extended version so much that the other side just never really got a hear. And I think I played that and Faith Healer once and was like, nah, I'll wait for the album to come out. I had another listen to it, obviously, fairly recently in preparation for this. And it's not as bad as what I remember, but I don't know. It just feels a bit underbaked for me. I think it's B-side material. I just think it was another. It's carrying the Hill theme that runs throughout the entire album, and I think it just didn't quite make the grade.
Okay, Craig.
I think it's okay. It could have done with a bit more work. It does fit with the theme of the album, and it feels like it wasn't quite finished. It feels like it kind of ends with a jam rather than, I was
going to say it. I mean, it sounds like a very, very polished demo.
Yeah. I think it's in there. I think I don't mind the keyboards at the end. I think thematically though, it fits perfectly with the album. And so I appreciate it, and I played the CD single a lot. The album version, this and Faith Healer as well. So yeah, it got a good airing off me.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you guys. I don't think it just doesn't feel like it's finished. And of the 3 songs on the CD single, it's by far the weakest. Because we're going to talk about Faith Healer in a minute, which, spoiler alert, is absolutely fucking brilliant and reminds me of the first Fish gig at Leeds because he opened the set with it. Jack and Jill's all right. It probably was in the mix for the album and then fell by the wayside, so they worked more on the other tracks and brought them up to speed. But Stephen, Faith Healer live.
Well, it's just like you just said, listening to it, it takes you back to I first saw Fish at the Ritz in Manchester, sprung floor, packed in crowd. And what's he going to play first? He clearly he couldn't play too much new stuff first because the album wasn't out, but only the single. And I don't think he wanted to start with a Marillion song because that wasn't the statement he wanted to make. He's clearly going to play some material, but not start with it. So I didn't know the song, but when he came out and put his arm out and touched everyone's hands on the first few rows. And again, it was kind of a reassuring, in touch with the crowd, which is kind of lyrically falls on with with the song Vigil and some of the points on the album. It was a perfect way to start a gig, and because it was a packed in standing crowd and because it was a Fish concert, it felt like I don't know, something very, very special, and it was a special night really. And that song will always remind me of the first moment he came on stage. I thought, yeah, this is great. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, Stuart.
I've got quite an affinity to the song Faith Healer from right when I was a teenager. The first proper band that I played in, a band called Glasgow, from Glasgow, of course, played a cover version of the Faith Healer. So I was really familiar with it. And then when Fish released it, on the CD, on the single, the B-side. It was such a life affirming thing to go and watch him play it, because I can play that song, and I've been involved in that too. And one of the first places that I saw him play that was a little pub in Glasgow, called the Rocking Horse, and they just opened that up in the late 80s, very late 80s, early 90s, as a live music venue. And it was one of these places that maybe held about 200 people, and no matter where you were probably within arm's reach of whatever performer was on that night. And of course, we were all packed into the place when Fish was doing that, and when he was playing the Faith Healer, and like you say, when he had his arms reached out, let me put my hands on you, we all felt really, really part of that. So I love the song, and I've had the honour of actually playing it with a few of the guys from the Sensational Alex Harvey band.
Have you?
Yeah. The bass player Chris Glenn, I was part of his band on and off for about 5 years. Chris Glenn in the Outfit, so I played keys for Chris. Played it live with Zal Clemens, the guitarist as well, and the Renfrew Ferry in Glasgow. So I've got a real affinity with that song, and it's an absolute pleasure to play. If you have any musicians out there that have played Faith Healer, it is an absolute joy to get your fingers round. It's a cracking song to play, and not least of all because it's got a widdly guitar-esque solo right in the middle.
Brilliant. Oh yeah, great stuff. Kieron, what do you think of it?
It's amazing, and it's one of those songs where I went home and I was like, Dad, you've got to listen to this. And then my dad got the original out and made me listen to the original. And it was just like, yeah, we did that a lot with kind of cover things, but I'd never heard it. And it was just, I still love it. I've had it on over the weekend and things, and it's still one of my favourite songs that's on kind of like the extended version of visual.
I prefer this version to the studio version that Fish did.
Yeah, for Songs of the Mirror.
It's got more energy about it.
Yeah.
Mark,
sorry, go. I never got to see him play this, so I didn't see him at the Ritz, and he didn't do it at the Apollo when he did the proper tour.
No, he changed the set, didn't he?
Yeah.
Mark, what do you think of Faith Healer live?
Fucking love it. Absolutely brilliant. So much energy, and I'd agree about the better than the studio version. I can't remember where I seen him, and it would have been 1990. But I remember him playing it anyway, and just instantly, wow, got to check out Alex Harvey band, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. Mikie?
Well, for me as well, this was my introduction to the sensational Alex Harvey band, which obviously just got, we got another treat from that, didn't we, further down in Fisher's career. Yeah, the energy's amazing on this. I think it's an absolutely stonking version live. And I agree with you, John. I think I prefer to hear it live than what it was. It Rain Gods it was on?
Yeah.
The studio version. Yeah. There is actually, I think it's on the Songs from the Mirror Deluxe Edition. There's a live version of it from about 2008.
It's on the BBC thing as well. It's
that's absolutely stonking. But yeah, it was a win-win situation. Far better than listening to Jack and Jill, that's for sure.
And we also got Boston Tea Party from the Alex Harvey band as well, of course.
Yeah. Greg, what do you think of Faith Healer? I'll go on to Stuart.
I think that might have been a gateway drug for quite a few people to the Alex Harvey band by the time you got those two down your neck.
Yeah. Greg, Faith Healer.
I'm with you guys. I prefer this version of it, and it's got such a driving energy to it, and you can feel that. Was it the anger and the power in his voice and his performance of it, and he's got such a drive for it, and he's really, really feeling it, and yeah. It was an interesting choice for a B-side, but I do think it works.
Yeah.
Well, if you harken back to the video, he kind of plays like a preacher come faith healer-y kind of guy in the video as well. So like it was like I was saying before, it's the whole package for the single for me. I just think it worked from top to bottom.
Yeah. Well, shall we talk about the sleeve? I think the sleeve's really striking, really, with the the fact that it doesn't fill the sleeve, the image, I think is really unique for a Mark Wilkinson piece. With Uncle Sam leaning towards you.
Yeah.
It's kept the whole red, white, and blue as well, especially on the picture disc where because it's white picture disc.
Yeah.
And then it's kept that whole kind of real American kind of thing going.
And should we mention the plane heading towards the Twin Towers?
Yes.
You can, Mark. Yeah. Very prophetic.
I don't know. But, again, he's foretelling stuff there, isn't he? Or Mark is. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Very strange. But yeah, love it.
What I thought was really clever about the design was actually on the back sleeve where the EMI and copyright information at the bottom was laid out like an American flag. I thought that was a nice little touch.
Oh yeah. The EMI's blue and all the text is red, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And that 7-inch wallet, quirky, but was really nicely done. Even if the 7-inch single gets a little bit stuck in it.
Speak for yourself. Mine slides in and out nicely.
No, mine's a really tight fit. Look.
Of course it is, Mikey.
And I quite like the idea that there was a space to put the CD single in, which nobody ever would, because it would just get scratched to buggery, wouldn't it? But I think everybody was like doing something weird and wonderful with CD and, vinyl packages back then. It was nice. It works. Yeah. Does exactly what it says in the tin.
Mikey.
Scottish notes in it as well.
Yeah, you can't get them out though, John. So they're definitely Scottish ones.
Whoa!
Fighting talk.
I'm right here in the room, by the way.
Yeah, but you're not in my room, so I just felt safe for a second.
Yet.
Whoa. Okay. Mikey, give us a chart rundown.
Okie dokie. So it came at number 26. It climbed to number 25, which was the highest ever solo performing single.
Was that off the back of Top of the Pops? It went up one?
No, it went down after Top of the Pops.
Oh, no, did it? Oh, I thought that was a week before. So anyway, so it dropped down to 34, then 64, then out. And as Craig mentioned earlier on, it was the third highest chart entry. That week it came in with only the Choir Boys and New Kids on the Block beating him in sales. Top 10, messy as ever. Jive Bunny again's in there. You've got Madonna, Jason Donovan, and the number one slot was Band Aid 2. Do They Know It's Christmas?
Okay. Band Aid 2, The Wrath of Khan. But yeah, no, the Top of the Pops appearance, he was actually at 25 when he performed on Top of the Pops.
Right.
So his performance knocked it down. But it was Simon. Yeah, it was Simon Mayo presenting that week with a leather jacket, and he was a little bit condescending. But Simon Mayo then probably has had form of not being the biggest Fish on Marillion fan throughout his career.
Was that the last time Fish was on Top of the Pops then, presumably?
The only time he's been on Top of the Pops as a solo artist. Yeah. So, yeah.
And
so they always had a joke, didn't they, after they've been on Top of the Pops, the scares the kids so the single goes down.
Yeah. And the only other thing to talk about is the video, really.
Which is quite iconic for a Fish thing, because, he's got his Uncle Sam, which he wore on Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
The video, let's say, is very, very colourful. It's very, the sleeve design, it if you look at the whole concept, like you said, the whole concept fits. So he's behind the lectern, he's doing his Uncle Sam, he's doing his preacher, and there's a lot of activity going forward with people passing by. Essentially, they're stood still, but they're on like casters or whatever, getting moved left and right with things going on, everything from yuppies to people in hospitals and all. It's a corking video.
And the colour's quite vivid as well, isn't it? It's quite an eye-catching video. The opposite of State of Mind.
Yeah, but it's actually directed by the same director as who did State of Mind.
with
It was just
a few more
changed.
quid to spend on it, though.
Yes,
Did
definitely.
that get
Well,
any
yes,
airtime on?
instead of a lazy Susan, he had a travelator thing, didn't he? So a bit more money spent there.
Mikey, did that get any play on like MTV or anything? With it being a big
Oh yeah, that was quite prolific. Yeah. But I think the thing that I like about it as well is I think Fish has always been really, really good at portraying characters and using those characters to perform and, you know, give the lyrics depth. And I think the video did that absolutely perfectly. I think it gets a bit repetitious as the video goes on. I think it loses its impact about halfway through. You're like, right, how many more people can just walk in front of them? And, you know, but I think a lot of videos were like that. You know, it was a case of, right, what do we do next? Or same thing, just repeat. But yeah, it got quite heavy rotation, and especially on the likes of VH1, it was around and about.
But it's funny as well how thematically this is with the video and stuff like that, and it's quite a bit thematically close to Jesus He Knows You with Genesis from We Can't Dance a couple of years later. Not exactly musically, but thematically.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's Fish's second solo single, Big Wedge. All that remains to be said is thank you to Stephen Wicks.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Kieron Buxton.
Thank you.
You've moved around on my screen. Thank you, Stuart Clyde.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark McCormac.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you, Mikie Kay.
Cheers, guys.
And thank you to my podcast other half, Craig Faye Houston.
Murky buckets.
All that remains to be said is it's good night from me.
And it's au revoir from me.
Take care.
And die horribly.
What? Fucking die horribly. Jesus Christ.
Thanks for listening to Planet Marzipan Podcast. Please like and subscribe from whichever platform you get your podcasts from. You can contact us at planetmarzipanpodcast@gmail.com and check out marillion.com, fishmusic.scot for all the good stuff.